This game is probably one of the messier games that I have played. It is from the Douro Blitz Cruise 2024 in Maia, and my round 5 opponent wasn't just anyone. I played the top seed of the tournament, Alexandr Fier from Brazil. He's a Grandmaster rated over 2500, and I was super excited to play him. The game started with the Alekind's defense. Where are my pieces going? I decided to play bishop d3. This opening is not very common, obviously, compared to the Sicilian or the French. Haha. Bishop e3 is what I played, bishop g7, and I'm taking my time here, as you can tell, but I should not. I should be playing so much faster. But for now, nothing's wrong. I'm just developing my pieces, but the pawns in the center, the pawn c4 and the pawn d4, they are quite the targets. So I need to make sure that my pawns are well protected. But soon enough, black is trying to play e5. And I'm still taking my time here. My opponent is chatting with someone else, by the way. It's a very casual tournament, but it was still counting for FIDE Blitz rating. So there is quite some things on the line here. And of course, I want to do my best playing against the top seed. My bishop is under attack now. What do I do with my bishop? Do I simply allow my opponent to capture my bishop? Or do I have something else in mind? I'm still thinking. And I usually be playing much faster. What is this? Is this how people feel like when they watch me play Blitz? I decided to give up the pair of bishops. I did not have much else to do, otherwise I would be losing the pawn on c4. And now my opponent plays the solid move e6, which is a bit of a surprise, because now this gives me the opportunity to develop my pieces and control the center still. My opponent for d5, so now my pawn on c4 is under attack. I push c5, and my opponent's knight went to c4, and he's making moves so quickly, it's very intimidating. But yeah, now my pawn on c5 is under attack. I decide to attack the knight goes back to a5. And now, what to do with my pawn? I decide to play bishop a3, protecting the pawn. Rook e8 is played. I was threatening a little discovery attack there with c takes b6, but that did not happen, obviously. Now, what do I decide to do? Rook ac1 is played. Knight goes back to c6. I'm smelling blood here with the rook and the knight on the same file. The sun is peeking in over there, as you can tell. In case you're wondering why I'm wearing a hat, this is why. We're literally playing on a moving boat here in Maia in Portugal. So I was prepared here with my hat to cover myself from the sun. Oh, Anna, how are you spending so much time? Future Anna is bothered by this. Anyway, bishop d7 is on the board, knight to b5. I'm finally able to move forward with my pieces because I see that a nice d6 square for the knight. My opponent decides to take on c5. How do I capture back here? 3 options. 2 of them look pretty decent. I take with the bishop, obviously, because that bishop is looking very nice on the c5. My opponent goes for e5, striking in the center. And how do I deal with this? Because suddenly the files are opening up, and the more files open up, the better those bishops of black get. Knight to d6 played, attacking the rook. My opponent ignores it, plays e4, attacking my queen on d3. What is my queen going to do now? I have to move it. Where does the queen go? And I'm still taking her time. And she decides to go for queen to c3. Queen to c3. I was actually thinking to play queen g3, but she played queen c3. Knight f4 on the board, attacking the rook on e6. The camera has moved. And now the problem is that black's rook is under attack, and also the pawn on d5. So that is why my opponent is spending quite some time here, because it seems like black is already in trouble. How does black defend both pieces? It seems impossible. Let's see what the Grandmaster comes up with here. as he's finally taking his time. He decides to sacrifice the exchange. I'm super happy because I'm up materially now. My opponent goes for queen f6, attacking the bishop and the knight on f4. I need to defend both pieces. Queen to c5 defends the bishop, knight takes d4. And now, what is happening? The board is a complete mess. Knight takes d5. My opponent gives me a check, forking the king and the rook. I have to move my king, but I was playing king h1. And then finally, I decided to go back and play king of 1 instead. So now my king is on f1, queen on h4 has been played. I take the knight off the board. We were both like, what is happening? Bishop g4 check. King f1 goes back. Oh, no. My opponent was about to play queen takes h2 but didn't. And now the game is a complete mess. I wanted to play queen something here or queen c8. I decided to trade queens. Bishop takes h5. Rook e1, oh my gosh, what is even happening? I cannot even follow it myself anymore. Knight to c6, and now I'm basically up a full rook. I'm up a full rook, I just need to trade pieces, and I'm winning this game completely. Obviously, my opponent still tries to keep playing because I'm probably under 5 seconds here, and here actually something crazy happened because I wanted to play rook c8, but the rook slid back to c7, and now I lost the exchange back because of that. I wanted to trade rooks, but eventually I still managed to do that. And now my opponent resigned. What a game this was. I could not even follow it myself here. This was a big win for me. Beating the top seed of the tournament, the only 2500 rated player. And what a game it was.